The arrival at Zenith Academy. A new beginning on an unfamiliar planet. Diana adjusted the straps of her backpack as she stepped off the transport shuttle, the artificial gravity of Zenith Academy settling over her like a comforting embrace. It wasn't Earth, but at least the station's designers had made it habitable for humans. The Academy, one of the most prestigious intergalactic institutions for higher learning, was a melting pot of species from across the universe, a place where the best and brightest came to study and expand their knowledge. For Diana and her small group of human classmates, this was more than just an educational experience. It was a test, a challenge to prove that humanity belonged among the stars. Her boots clicked softly against the sleek metallic flooring as she gazed around the vast atrium. The ceilings were impossibly high, adorned with cascading holographic projections of different planetary systems. Alien students bustled around, some hovering mid-air, others slithering or moving in ways completely unnatural to human locomotion. The air was filled with an assortment of scents, some pleasant, others pungent, reminding Diana just how far from home she really was. "Welcome to Zenith Academy," a deep, resonant voice echoed through the atrium. It belonged to Headmaster Valsar, a towering reptilian being with shimmering emerald scales. "Here, knowledge surpasses boundaries, and unity is forged through understanding. You are no longer just representatives of your own worlds. You are students of the cosmos." Meeting the humans of Class 2A. As Diana walked toward her assigned quarters, she spotted the familiar faces of her fellow human students. Tyler, her childhood friend and a tactical genius, leaned casually against the doorframe. His sharp green eyes scanned the crowd, always assessing, always calculating. Beside him stood Jen, whose wild black curls bounced as she animatedly complained about something, probably the food. "Diana," Jen waved her over. "Tell me you saw that cafeteria menu. I swear if I have to eat another raw slab of alien protein, I'm going to lose it." Diana laughed. "We just got here, and you're already complaining." "Damn right," Jen huffed. "They don't cook anything. It's all raw, because apparently they don't have bacteria like we do." Tyler smirked. "We'll figure something out. Worst case scenario, we smuggle in some Earth supplies and cook in our dorm." From behind them, Brody and Caleb approached, carrying their belongings. "I heard our dorms have Earth-imported kitchenware," Brody said, adjusting his glasses. "Apparently, they thought humans would struggle without our primitive culinary rituals." Jen threw her hands up. "Finally, some good news." Diana turned toward the dormitory hall, where their quarters awaited. But before they could head inside, a new voice chimed in. An unexpected observer. "Excuse me, humans." The group turned to see an alien student standing before them. She was tall and slender, with lavender-colored skin and 4 large, glistening eyes. Her race, the Pithrock, were known for their keen intellect and natural curiosity. "My name is Aelia," she said politely, her elongated fingers fidgeting slightly. "I could not help but overhear your conversation about cooking." She tilted her head, her expression a mix of intrigue and confusion. Jen grinned. "Oh, you have no idea what you're missing. Cooking is an art. It's the soul of human culture." Aelia's eyes widened. "I wish to learn this. Cooking. May I observe?" Tyler shrugged. "Sure, why not? Just don't be too shocked when you see how incredible human food can be." With that, the group made their way to their dorm, unaware that they had already piqued the interest of more than just one alien student. The first lesson in human culture. Their dorm was surprisingly spacious, designed to accommodate human physiology. A full kitchen stood in one corner, complete with a stove, oven, and microwave. Appliances that meant nothing to most other species, but were essential for the small group of humans. Aelia moved carefully around the room, examining each item with fascination. She stopped in front of a PlayStation 7 console, her 4 eyes scanning the intricate human technology. "What is this device?" Caleb smirked. That's only the greatest gaming console ever made. Diana rolled her eyes. We'll get to that later. First, let's introduce Alia to real food. Jen cracked her knuckles, stepping up to the stove like a warrior entering battle. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to witness history. Tonight, we teach an alien how to cook. Unseen eyes watching. What none of them realized, however, was that they were being watched. Across the hall, a tall figure in a dark academic robe peered into the dorm through the open door. Mr. Kahiro, one of their history professors, had been following the humans ever since they left the cafeteria. His interest in them had grown over the past few weeks, but now, seeing them gathered in their dorm, he was more intrigued than ever. The humans had something unique, something the rest of the galaxy didn't. He had a feeling that their time at Zenith Academy was about to change everything. An unlikely bond, and a galactic mystery, a taste of home. The aroma of sizzling ingredients filled the dorm's shared kitchen, an unmistakable contrast to the sterile, scentless air of Zenith Academy's halls. Jen stood at the stove, flipping a pan of diced vegetables with practiced ease. The rhythmic clatter of utensils and the occasional burst of steam made the small dormitory feel just a little more like Earth. Alia stood nearby, her 4 luminous eyes tracking every movement with scientific precision. You deliberately exposed the food to extreme temperatures, she noted, her voice tinged with curiosity. Is this not destructive? Jen smirked. It's called cooking, Alia. Heat makes food taste better. It changes textures, releases flavors. It's an art. Alia's elongated fingers tapped against the edge of the counter. Incredible. Most species in the Federation consume food in its raw state, preserving maximum nutrients. Your method seems inefficient, yet. She inhaled deeply, her lips curling slightly. The scent is oddly appealing. Diana chuckled as she chopped some herbs. That's the magic of human cuisine. We don't just eat to survive. We eat for experience. Tyler leaned against the fridge, arms crossed. So, Alia, are you the only one curious about human food, or do the other students think we're weird for cooking everything? Alia considered the question. Some find it primitive. Others find it unnecessary. But a few, like myself, find it fascinating. Jen plated the stir-fried vegetables, placing them next to a steaming bowl of rice. Then let's make history, she declared, handing Alia a fork. The alien hesitated, examining the utensil before mimicking the way the humans held theirs. With delicate precision, she lifted a bite to her lips. The room fell silent. Alia's eyes widened. She chewed slowly, experiencing something beyond taste. A complexity of flavors, a layering of sensations unlike anything she had encountered before. She struggled to find the right word. Unexpected. Pleasurable. It changes as I chew. Jen beamed. That's seasoning for you. Alia took another bite, her fascination growing. Humans, she murmured, are full of surprises. A shadow in the academy. Meanwhile, on the far side of Zenith Academy, a different kind of curiosity was stirring. Professor Kahiro sat in his dimly lit office, scrolling through a holographic database filled with research on human history, culture, and technological development. The humans were new to the wider galactic community, barely a century into space travel, and yet they adapted at a rate that unsettled even the most advanced civilizations. He pulled up a file marked CLS2A, Human Studientes, and skimmed through the names. Diana Carter, Earth, Political Science and Intergalactic Relations. Tyler Nguyen, Earth, Tactical Strategy and Military Analysis. Jen Rains, Earth, Cultural Anthropology and Alien Linguistics. Brody Patel, Earth, Astrophysics and Engineering. Caleb Lawson, Earth, Artificial Intelligence and Computer Systems. Each student had their own specialization, but together they represented a formidable mix of intellect and adaptability. And that was what concerned him. Kahiro's fingers hovered over a section labeled Historical Anomalies. Human Civilization. and he opened it with a quiet sigh. The data was troubling. In less than 5,000 years, humans had progressed from primitive tribal societies to an interstellar species. That kind of advancement was unnatural. Other civilizations, even the most advanced ones, had taken tens of thousands, if not millions, of years to reach the same stage. And there were gaps in their history, strange leaps in technological development, theories of lost knowledge, whispers of intervention. Hiro leaned back, rubbing his temples. Something was different about these humans, and he intended to find out what. A message from the unknown. Back at the dorm, Diana was cleaning up after their impromptu cooking session when her personal communicator pinged with an incoming transmission. She frowned. The message had no sender ID. Meet me at docking bay 7. Midnight. Alone. X. Her heart skipped a beat. Who was X? And why did they want to meet her in secret? Tyler must have noticed the shift in her expression because he raised an eyebrow. Something wrong. Diana hesitated. The smart thing would be to tell the others. But some instinct, a gut feeling she couldn't explain, told her that this was something she had to handle alone. She forced a casual shrug. Nah, just a reminder about my schedule. Tyler didn't look convinced, but he didn't press. As the night stretched on, Diana waited until the others were asleep before slipping out of the dorm and heading toward the docking bays. The academy was eerily quiet at this hour. The artificial lights cast long, distorted shadows across the corridors, and the faint hum of energy pulses vibrated beneath her feet. When she reached docking bay 7, she scanned the area cautiously. The bay was dimly lit, its vast metallic walls lined with small spacecraft, most of them locked and inactive. "Glad you came," the voice murmured. Diana spun around, her muscles tensing. A hooded figure stepped from the shadows. Their face was obscured, but their posture was relaxed, almost too confident. "Who are you?" Diana demanded. The figure chuckled. "Let's just say I've been keeping an eye on you, Earthling, and I think it's time we had a talk." Diana's instincts screamed at her to run, but she held her ground. This was no ordinary encounter. And somehow, she knew, this was only the beginning. Secrets in the shadows, a stranger's warning. Diana's fingers twitched near her belt, where she usually carried her pocket-sized multi-tool, a gift from her father before she left Earth. It wasn't a weapon, but if things went sideways, she could improvise. The hooded figure remained still, watching her with an unreadable expression. A faint glow pulsed from the fabric of their cloak, a telltale sign of an advanced cloaking material, the kind used by intelligence operatives or smugglers trying to stay off-grid. Diana steadied her breathing. "I don't like games. Who are you? And why did you bring me here?" The figure exhaled, the sound slightly distorted. "You're asking the wrong questions. It's not who I am that matters. It's what I know." Diana narrowed her eyes. "And what is it you think you know?" The figure shifted slightly, glancing around the empty docking bay before lowering their hood. A gasp caught in Diana's throat. Beneath the hood was a face she recognized, not personally, but from classified reports. He was a Vailani, one of the Federation's most enigmatic species, known for their ability to manipulate bioelectric energy and their extreme rarity outside of their own star systems. The Vailani were highly secretive, and few ever left their homeworld. Yet here one stood before her. "You can call me Xalray, but that's not important right now," he said. His skin shimmered faintly, shifting between deep blue and silver hues as his eyes, piercing and unsettling, bore into hers. "What matters is that you and your fellow humans are in grave danger." Diana felt her pulse quicken. What kind of danger? Xalray glanced toward the control panels near the docking bay's entrance, as if checking for surveillance. "There's something the Federation isn't telling you about why humans were invited to Zenith Academy." Diana crossed her arms, masking her unease. "I've heard the official story. Integration, cooperation, cultural exchange. That's why the Federation reached out to Earth. Zal-Rai let out a dry, humorless laugh. That's what they want you to believe. The truth is much bigger, more dangerous. His voice dropped lower. You humans, you don't realize what you are. Diana's skin prickled. And what exactly are we? Zal-Rai hesitated for a long moment before responding. An anomaly. The anomaly of humanity. Diana scoffed. You'll have to be more specific than that. Zal-Rai's expression darkened. The Federation has observed thousands of civilizations, some far older, some far more advanced than yours, but none of them evolved the way humans did. Your history is riddled with gaps, unexplained technological leaps, and patterns that shouldn't be possible. Diana frowned. You mean our rapid advancement? Zal-Rai nodded. Other species take millions of years to develop interstellar travel. Your people did it in less than 5,000. That's unnatural. He leaned closer, his voice urgent. The Federation is studying you because they don't understand you. And what they don't understand, they fear. Diana felt a chill run down her spine. Fear us? We're just getting started in the galaxy. Why would they be afraid of us? Zal-Rai's gaze sharpened. Because humans break the rules. The word hung in the air like a storm cloud. What rules? She pressed. The rules of progression. The natural order of development. Humans have no pattern, no predictable trajectory. You leap forward in ways that defy logic, as if something or someone has been guiding you. Diana's breath caught. Are you saying we were helped? Zal-Rai hesitated. That's the question the Federation is desperate to answer. A pit formed in Diana's stomach. If what he was saying was true, then their presence at Zenith Academy wasn't about diplomacy. It was about surveillance. She squared her shoulders. If the Federation fears us, why let us into Zenith at all? Zal-Rai exhaled slowly. Because they're testing you. They want to know how you respond to different challenges, different environments, different threats. His voice dropped. And they have contingencies in place if they don't like what they see. Diana's heart pounded. What kind of contingencies? Zal-Rai's expression was grim. Worst case, they could decide humanity is too unpredictable, too dangerous, to be allowed to continue advancing unchecked. Diana's mind raced. You mean they'd? Zal-Rai nodded. Wipe you out before you become a true threat. A dangerous path forward. Diana stepped back, trying to process everything. The Federation wasn't just watching humans. They were studying them, testing them, and, if necessary, planning to eliminate them. She clenched her fists. Why are you telling me this? Zal-Rai's silver-blue skin flickered under the dim lights. Because I owe a debt to someone who once saved my life. A human. And because I believe that your kind deserves a chance to survive what's coming. Diana exhaled sharply. What is coming? Zal-Rai's expression darkened. I don't know exactly. But I do know this. Zenith Academy is only the beginning. Whatever the Federation is planning, it's already in motion. If you and your friends want to make it out alive, you need to start thinking like them. You need to be 2 steps ahead. Diana's mind was spinning. She needed to get back, to warn the others. But as she turned to leave, Zal-Rai spoke one last time. One more thing. She stopped. There's a professor here. Kahiro. Diana froze. I don't know how much he knows, but he's watching you closely. Be careful. She turned back, but Zal-Rai was already stepping into the shadows. Within seconds, he was gone, vanished into the dark corners of the docking bay, as if he had never been there. Diana took a shaky breath, her hands trembling. Nothing would ever be the same after tonight. And if Zal-Rai was right, humanity's future depended on what she did next.